To LA, where I stay. To LA, where I stay.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. Not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
What is going on, everybody? We are here on KQBHLP in Los Angeles, California on 101.5 FM, a community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on kqbhla.com. I'm your host for the hour, PBP. You can call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner. Let me remind you again. It's so good to be back on air here with my fellow Angelinos. And tonight we are starting off the new year right. I had my little send-off message for 2024. Last time we all conversated, we had Classified on air. Shout out to my guy Classified, always out there just holding it down, always keeping it real and raw for the culture. And, I hope everybody is safe from these fires. We rescheduled our season 3 premiere just due to what was going on that week, a couple weeks ago, and condolences to all the victims and everybody out there. And like I said, too, LA Lifestyle is accepting donations. So if anybody has any clothes, water, toiletries, any kids' clothes, kids' shoes, or anything like that, feel free to just send me a message on Instagram at L_A_lifestyle, and we can make sure that your donations make it to the proper place for our fire victims. We are LA strong. All Angelinos have done an amazing job with the response of what's gone on in the past couple weeks. I'm very, very proud to be a part of this city. So it's an honor to be able to not only be a part of it, but then to further discuss and get to conversate with a lot of these amazing creatives out here in Los Angeles. So first and foremost, we're going to get right back into the theme of everything and trying to find the most jaw-dropping, most influential, most poetic musicians, producers, artists that we can find out here in LA. And I think I've come across a pretty good one to start season 3 off. And he goes by the name of Peso90003. He's from Southeast Central LA, or what you were saying?
No, so I'm from South Central LA.
South Central.
The east side.
East side
of the 110.
Okay.
And it's Peso90003.
900, okay.
And 90003 is my it's South Central's code. So
yeah. So welcome on air, my G.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
First in a radio interview.
Yeah.
Ooh,
it's my first one. You popping my cherry, G.
I was gonna say, I think I'm batting 1,000 on.
Yeah,
this.
You're a criminal out here.
I think I am. I don't know. They still let me on air. I still get to chat with everybody. But we got a good little line of questions here, and just to let my audience know, we're gonna be getting more on the in-depth side of it. A little bit different of a creative approach that we've kind of taken with this one. Going to be more consistent on a lot of things, and we do have a couple announcements at the end of the evening for you guys as well. But let's just hop right into it. So let's get into like the origins and the inspiration of Peso. So my first question is for you, man. What inspired you to start your journey as a rapper, and how is growing up in Los Angeles influenced your artistry?
I think just to start off, I'm a big fan of hip hop, big fan of rap. Growing up in South Central, it was always around me. The people that I looked up to, my family members, they all listened to it. It was just always around me, and I fell in love with it more when I discovered that you could do it yourself. And that's kind of where it started, I've been doing it for a while, been rapping, been writing rhymes for a minute, but I didn't take it too seriously until I say 2020 is when I decided to go the hardest. For lack of better words, it was just one of those things where I just had an epiphany and decided to go hard. But yeah, that's where it started, man. That's kind of the origins of my personal musical journey.
So I gotta ask you, how did you end up crossing paths then in your journey? Well, how did you end up crossing paths with Craev and those guys? What's kind of the little backstory on that? Did you guys meet at an event? Were you recommended to each other?
That's actually more recent. When I say they is No Limit and Craev. They're from the OC. And Mellow Thing, who I work with a lot. He does a lot of my music. He produces. He's an engineer. He's part of a cool punk band called Duderella. And yeah, I mean he was the conduit to me meeting them and introducing me to them, and it's all through like just performing, doing shows, different people that we all know. It's a small community at this point, so yeah, that's how I met them. And then he kind of would make us do music together, not forcefully, but he's like, hey, listen to this. You want to get on this? I get on it. They'll listen to it. That's just dope. And that's kind of how I started. And, Craev and we actually got together, did a tape called Money Cravings. We put out last month in December.
Yeah, you guys have been really killing it on the collaboration. And so, I mean, it led me to where I went to one of the Loopers events. And that's where,
shout out Loopers.
Yeah, and over in La Habra.
Yeah, La Habra.
Squires.
Yeah, Squires, that's a little dive bar down there.
And you know what's crazy too is La Habra, man, and shout out Danny and Prophecy and all those guys, Bravo.
Right. Bravo 562.
Yeah, holding it down over there, it's just really unique just to see like, how even over there like they can attract and like bring like an artist like you from over like South Central.
Right. Yeah, I mean a little backstory on me. I mean that's always been my MO, honestly. Just like growing up, even going to school, like I was born and raised in South Central. During the 7th grade, I started getting bussed out to like Culver City, and then 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I was out in the Valley. Shout out to the Valley. So I went to school out there, and I was always that kid. I was always the South Central kid.
Yeah.
I was always the LA kid.
Yeah, so
right?
I could kind of feel like you on that sense. So like we were talking before, like for me when I was living out in Santa Cruz and I was starting to kind of move around, I was that kid. I was the NorCal kid, like the deep, like from the more wilderness part of the Bay Area. So like for me, it was like, okay, this and that. Like I'm here for this. I was always that kid. So
right.
I can kind of, I get it's more on a city presence for you, but it's
right.
like country kid put in the
right,
city,
right.
But with that, the creative process, like we're kind of talking about, you said Mellow would just like, hey man, like let's get you on this, let's see where it's at. When you're creating a song, do you typically start with a beat or the lyrics? How do you balance your roles as a rapper? Like, does it just come naturally, like you stated, like people are throwing you stuff, or are you just like, all right, I'm gonna get in the booth, or I'm gonna get a session in right now?
So my workflow has evolved from 2020 till now, just because of the sheer amount of resource and the people around me. So I used to like find beats myself and sit down and take a couple days to write something down and kind of formulate a song that way, go to the studio, record it, and then boom, that's how my workflow was. Now it's more, since I have people reaching out, other producers, Mellow, he's a well of like music, honestly, like
he's a curator, like he actually
more than that, like he's for lack of better words, he's a music god, bro. He just does everything from the ground up. Like
that's how it's supposed to be, man.
It's
real art.
Right, exactly. It's but anyways, so my workflow now is, I go to the studio minimum once a week, if not more. And every time I'm there, it's either 1 or 2 songs getting done. Good. And why? Because we kind of cultivated this like style of workflow where it's, just continuously chip away, create a catalog, for moments like this where it's like, we have the catalog. We're ready to pivot whenever we need to, ready to drop. I could drop for the rest of the year and not record a goddamn thing. And that's kind of like the plan now is like I have so much in the bank that it's...
Then you get the rollout process,
right.
You get the marketing,
right.
Just how are we going to do this,
right.
stuff like that. So that's typically your MO then.
Yeah.
So with that, so you say you're booking the studio session. Is this like a mutual connection? Are you going to Mello's house?
So no, we ran out a studio out in Pico Rivera. It's
Pico?
yeah, Pico, yeah. So it's me, Mello, Eddie Rotten, and Dudarella.
And that's your guys' spot, or
the homie Dan, yeah. So yeah, I mean we've been there for I think over a year now. I want to say probably even more.
I gotta tap in. I'm in Norwalk.
Yeah, bro.
You're just up to 605.
Anytime, bro. Just either hit me up or hit up Mello.
Definitely, for sure.
Or hit up Eddie.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to cooking something.
But yeah, it's regular shit, bro. It's regular shit. Every week we're in there. Every week, and people could tell you like Craev's been down there, No Limit. A lot of OC cats, Kid Vista. We fuck with him heavy. Yeah. Oh my bad. My fault.
No, you good. First one's free. But just to keep on a positive note here, and hey guys, if you're just tuning in to the listeners on the web or here in the local Los Angeles area, we're on KQBHLP in Los Angeles, California on 101.5 FM, a community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live and streaming on your FM dial or kqbhla.com. And I'm your host, PBP, and tonight I am here with Peso90003.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Yes, we got it.
I got it on wrap now. And we're pretty much just, tonight's our season 3 premiere. We're getting the ball rolling. We got a nice little reggae mix for you tonight. I felt like, what's something I haven't really been playing on the air. I've been doing a lot of hip hop, like a lot. And so I've been trying, now with making my music, I'm trying to get back, pick up some albums you haven't listened to in a while that you used to love. Like movies that you just I can't watch this anymore. And then so that's what I've been doing. I dove back into some older Andre Nicotina, some reggae. What else? Oh, I picked up some old Twista.
Okay.
Like Celebrity Overnight.
Yeah.
Early Kanye. I like that old Kanye. Straight up, man.
College Dropout.
Yeah, it was just the time. I didn't really understand those albums when I was younger, but now,
I did.
Well, I mean, for me, I was like a country kid out there trying to be we in Paris.
Look, man, when growing up in South Central, being a skateboarder, right? Because I was into the skate culture early on. I think even before the hip hop stuff, it wasn't the norm, right? It was not the norm to be a skater out in South Central. And then with that, you got introduced to different kinds of music. And, I was that kid that was into Pharrell early, right? The Neptunes.
I always remember the first time I got put on Pharrell was it was 2004, the MTV Countdown I used to watch. Like clockwork, top 20 countdown before I was in school. My mom would be cutting my waffles, Lego my ego. And the
syrup.
Right. With Aunt Jemima, I used to call it, or I think I'm bodying that too. But it was the Pharrell and Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would even say that was later. I was the Clips. That's who I was into, right?
Yeah.
So with that, then you kind of pivot into Kanye. We was wearing the the preppy stuff, and it's backpack rap and all that stuff. So I was into him when people were listening to Bone Thugs. They were listening to more harder.
He hadn't really solidified himself yet. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but I went to the Battle of the Barracks number 13 with No Limit. I took No Limit. We went to that. I ended up because I interviewed the team manager from Pal Peralta, DeVille Moons. I tapped in with him, and he surprised me with some tickets for me and my friends. So we go out, and what was I just lost my train of thought.
You took him to the barracks?
Or the story I was going. I just completely had a brain fart right now because I looked at this question over here I was getting ready to lead into.
That shit happens.
It happens. You know what? Let's just refrain from that. We'll just backtrack.
It'll come back to you.
It'll come back to me because I got everything all strategically placed here where I'm just I got to get back in this groove where when I'm in my office, it's just one screen and my keyboard, and I've just been so office locked.
Yeah.
Now I'm oh, okay, we got monitor here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good here. Okay, everything's good here. Okay, I'm not gonna trip over that cord when I walk out. That's where now it's just that. You let your mind kind of be oh, I'm back over here.
Mm-hmm.
But just to, I got to get more thorough with these questions. I got them all categorized. So one I want to ask you is I really want to talk about LA's music scene. It's kind of where it's at.
Dang.
So we'll start off with this. How has the diverse music culture of LA shaped your sound and approach with music? Like, before you kind of like say make a song, or just do you kind of analyze what's going on in the scene? Do you use certain, say, showcases or what people are doing to influence your next move?
I definitely keep my finger on the pulse. Like I said, I'm a fan first, I think. So I know what's going on. I'm tapped in. So yeah, like subconsciously maybe it influences my creativity to some extent. But yeah, like, relatable stuff is what really captures my attention. So if I can relate to it, then yeah, I'm definitely gonna be listening to it. And sometimes that kind of bleeds through the creative process when you're in the studio or when you're writing a song. You're kind of like trying to tap into that somehow, some way. But ultimately, like, I strive to be as original as possible, as much as I can. Obviously, it requires, like, because I don't make beats, so like I require someone like Mellow, who's not traditionally, LA rap hit producer. Like he's more creative than that. It's broader than that. Yeah.
See, that's like me. Like, I only work with a select few on the producing side. Like, one of my main two is Sabi from Hangout Records, where same thing. He's an instrumentalist. Like,
right.
A lot of my best music I've made with him, where we're gonna bounce around the studio, and he's like, "All right, let's go to the piano." He's gonna lay some keys down.
Yeah.
Get some keys down. Then he's gonna go, "Yeah, okay, let me go over here to the MPC."
Yeah.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So that's why I like that more than just someone who's just sitting in front of a computer. Yeah, you can get a bunch of cool plugins and like all the voices and all the stuff you can add on the hooks and the choruses, but then to me it's like you're letting that like take over half the song.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, but like back to your question, like the LA rap scene or the LA music scene, like I try not to be too on the nose of what's going on.
You just kind of try to keep to your, like, all right, cool, I see you.
Because yeah, at the end of the day, like I would like to consider myself an innovator to some extent. So I don't necessarily like, I'm gonna listen to Draco and then try to make a Draco song, or I'm gonna go listen to Shoreline Mafia, make a Shoreline Mafia type song.
Be talking about lean.
Like, we don't do the type beat shit over here. Like, we don't. It's all custom, tailor made. From zero to something beautiful.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. It's like, always be going into the studio just trying to make music, and if you think you're gonna make a hit, just go home.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their process, right? Yeah. I'm not here to judge anyone.
Yeah, as long as you're making the music.
Right. For me, it's work, right? We're doing work, and as long as it's like working out. The more push-ups you do, the more muscles you're gonna get. The more reps you do, the more the bigger you're gonna get. So that I treat music metaphorically the same way. It's like I go to the studio as much as I can, try to make as much as I can, and just flex that muscle. Just flex it as much as I can.
Yeah, and so with that then being said, like, what are some of the challenges that you face being an artist with a competitive city like LA? Because, I mean, dude, I do music myself. Yes, I create.
Right.
No problem, right? But for me, like right now, like I got my radio, my event curation, like I'm starting to help people put tours together. Like I have my feet in other pots that can sufficiently get me through my life.
Resourceful.
Exactly, right? So with the challenges, like, I mean, I feel like I haven't even met a 50th of the underground LA rap scene.
Yeah, and that's very true. Like, it's super saturated. And
I mean, any city you go to now, I mean,
So if you're doing this, like for me, for example, like if I'm doing it because I love it, right? Yeah. I'm not trying to be famous. Like that's not the goal.
Because you have other roles and other routes, other things in your life that are going on.
Right. But it's not that I prioritize, those other things. Obviously, I have responsibilities and and I need to be taking care of business, but ultimately, I do music because I love it. The art comes first before anything, for me at least.
And was there anything before music, before hip hop? Like, did you play any instruments or anything like in your adolescent years? Like, is there a family member or someone that might have inspired any kind of musical?
Nah. So I would want to say I'm the first, like, out of my family in multiple generations.
And you're Hispanic, correct?
Yeah. So my parents are Mexican.
I would take it probably from, my wife's Hispanic, and just kind of knowing like the Hispanic family. Like, you probably had a lot of people in your family like get a normal job or like
it's a working class, bro. Yeah, for sure.
Like old fashioned Hispanic family.
Right. Traditional, like nuclear family type stuff.
Nuclear.
Yeah, bro, like parents that stay together for 30 plus,
Oh yeah, that's my mom and dad.
Right.
Old school,
My aunts and uncles, like majority of them kind of did the same, especially on my dad's side and my mom's
8
side as well.
kids.
Yeah, like big families,
Yeah.
I'm one of 5,
Oh, okay.
right? So
I'm one of one.
yeah. But yeah, no, definitely, like, I'm the first out of my family and multiple generations that actually, like, putting myself out there, making the music,
Just doing it.
Yeah, just doing it.
Just doing it.
Just doing it. No, I got blinders on. Blinders on.
Well, you gotta have blinders on, because I mean sometimes, like, a lot of the stuff, if you don't have blinders on, you can get easily distracted. I mean, especially for me, like, my big turnaround is like being a little bit more organized, where I feel like if I can keep myself organized, that's how I can keep my blinders on.
Right.
When I allow myself to get distracted or disorganized by whatever may be going on, the outside ambiance, that's when the problems and the issues start to
Right.
unfold.
You start noticing things that you probably shouldn't, and it's
you have to have
affecting
a-
your psyche.
You have to have a sense of direction
Right.
with anything. I mean,
But that's confidence. That's assertiveness. Like, you learn those things throughout life if they weren't instilled in you by your family.
well, yeah, your family, your role models. I mean, obviously, like, how was the family life or the house life? Because you could have had a destructive childhood, you could have had a normal one.
Right.
But I tell you, man, if you're a single kid, you don't drink, and your parents are still together, I don't know if I trust you. I'm kidding. We gotta loosen everybody up.
For
It's
sure,
2025.
Bro. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's I can feel that. It's just so flooded. It's just
It
really,
is.
It's like the thing that hurts me is, like, I want to support everybody, but check this. I can't buy 100 people's merch. I can't listen to 100 podcasts.
See, I don't do the merch thing, right? Like, I'm not pushing merch. I'm not pushing product on people.
Well, it's even like an example of, say, be your tape, your physical tape.
Right.
I want to buy all the 100 artist tapes.
But for example, on that note, right?
Yeah.
We make tapes, but we make 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's not like you're sitting there
Right.
like, I got 100.
So it's for the person that really wants it.
Exactly.
And we're not fucking breaking I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not breaking anyone's legs, anyone's limbs to buy it. Like,
It's all just pure,
Like,
like,
it's
hey,
there.
I got this.
it's been made for the person that's gonna
You
buy
maybe
it.
make like a half dozen, or
Less, bro.
It's
less.
very lucrative. What, is it like $100 a tape?
Nah, not
What,
even.
you selling NFTs over here?
Not even, man.
No, you're selling real art.
Hit a Mellow, man. They're cheap.
Oh,
They're
man.
very affordable.
I might have to be like, yo, can I just have you make me 5 for my album, man?
Hey.
Get those See, I got a tape player in my car.
All it takes is to tap in, knock on the door.
Yeah,
They might
tap-
open it,
What was it? We had some guests on the show. They're like, yeah, just show face. Show face. I thought that was that's the East Coast.
That's a real thing though. I
Yeah.
relate to that.
Yeah.
I relate to people wouldn't know who I was or who I am if I didn't show up to places.
Exactly.
Right? And that's how a lot of the new relationships that I've established have started. Like, I've gone somewhere where they performed, or they were there when I performed. Right? And that's how it goes. And
Sure.
that's the start of something, the seed.
Yeah, planting the seed,
Right.
laying the foundation.
Right,
Exactly. But hey, we're going to take a little break here. We're going to take a little intermission. We're going to get to some spinning here. Going to get back. We're going to get on the first little spin of 2025. But tonight, what I've curated is just a little mellow vibe, just to get the ease, keep the mind right, mellow. Of course.
Pun intended.
No pun intended for show. But tonight, I'm going to start everybody off right now. This is going to be a track off an album from 2010 from Damian Marley and Nas called Patience. This was a big album for me in high school. Used to keep this mug on repeat all the time. So guys, please enjoy the beautiful selection of tracks I have. I also too have some stick figures, Smoke and Love, Welcome to Jamrock by Damian Marley, and Pay No Mind by Revolution. Coming to you live on KQBHLP in Los Angeles, California, on 101.5 FM, a community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on KQBHLA.com.